as parents, we don't realize that 90% of what we teach kids is not what we say.
It's who you are.
It's who you are. It's what they observe.
That one has been the hardest thing for me. You do know me, there are times I've gotten home and I just tell the help, stay with him for 2 minutes. And I just go to my room and I cry and I just let it out.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not going to transfer this energy on him.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve that. After nimelia,
And a little.
nimetuma messages, venting to my husband. I'm like, imagine they did.
Oh.
My husband's like, you're venting? As in, like, do you need my opinion or is this? I'm like, servants. And I continue.
I just want you to listen.
And I'm in my room and I cry and I'm like, now I can go.
Yeah.
Because I realized that I can't exert that on him.
Yeah.
And how it manifests now for me is I shout.
Yeah.
Which is so wrong.
Yeah.
So actually, I just exit.
That's amazing.
I exit because I'm like, I'm not going to affect this dude with my issues.
I am amazed that you have that awareness in the same. I mean, as you do. So to nitoke hapa.
There are times it slips. Like yesterday, before we went to church.
Yeah.
I realized that my voice was getting, my husband was like, your voice. I'm like, yeah. Like, you need, I'm like, yeah, just take him.
Wow.
And I had to breathe in, breathe out, and try to understand why am I feeling this agitated.
Yeah.
But I figured it out and I was like, so he asked me, are you guys okay? Are you okay being with him? And I'm like, just bring him.
So I'm going to tell you on Saturday. So driving home. And my car is a little bit low. Alafu najua wasi utengeneza barabara. They decide to put up mountains as as speed bumps. Yeah. So I'm in the car, and so the easiest way for me to navigate through that speed bump is you take the bump with an angle.
Yeah.
And then this other driver is coming my way, and he decides to stua me by coming into my lane, and then starts laughing.
Oh, he even laughed.
He even laughed.
That's not nice.
And basically, the distance between him and I was like 5 meters. So he's trying to pull this stunt. So I'm like, this guy is fast making a mockery because he has a big car, a 4x4, you know. Alafu akaanza kucheka akishia. So me, I stopped. I looked at the guy in the middle of the road. I was like, are you serious? So, hey, let me tell you, Bana. Let me tell you. So my wife is trying to tell me, babe, you're not reacting right. Me nilikuwa nishaenda. And then I started getting annoyed because I'm trying to, she's like, that's not how you respond in that situation. Think about what you're displaying for the kids. But for me, the thing is, if this guy's car, for some reason, if it not go back, yani, kwa barabara vile alikuwa na intent, angenigonga. For what reason? Because trying to mock. Na mimi sijatoka kwa lane yangu. Yeah, I love the fact that he was laughing. That he drove off, him and his friends, yani, laughing in the car. I was like, apana.
It's bullying. I'm realizing that bullying doesn't stop.
No.
When people are young, it just gets hidden and manifests in different ways.
Yeah.
So you find that if somebody was a bully when they were younger and maybe they realize that that's not the way to behave, so they kind of tone it down through their teenagehood, they'll still bully their friends.
Yeah.
They'll not openly bully. When toddlers don't know the limits, they just bully.
Yeah.
But now when they're in their teenage, they will bully amongst friends.
Yeah.
When they're adults, it's amongst... You find that there's just that someone for no apparent reason decides to bully. Because that was bullying.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That's
bullying.
exactly what it was. Yani, I was so mad for so I was annoyed with this guy. And then I was annoyed with my wife because I'm trying to help her see my side. I'm like, this guy threatened
about the kids.
Yeah, man, he threatened all of you guys, your safety. And he found that hilarious. That was amusing for him. And like you say, I don't even look at him to know he's actually bullying. That's exactly what he was doing. But later, yesterday morning, I had to apologize to all of them.
Yes.
I had to tell them I am really sorry for what I demonstrated for you guys. It's not how.
You're supposed to, yeah.
I cannot tell how someone else will behave, but I can manage that, but I can manage myself.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's nice that you've mentioned about apologizing. That's one of the things I'm very intentional about when it comes to my son. I apologize. Like, freely. I was like, I'm so sorry. Because I think as parents, we grew up from a background where my mom to apologize. You're on the wrong forever. Wewe ndio kuna shida.
Hata kama she was on the wrong.
Hata kama she was on the wrong.
Yeah.
You are the problem. But I've become a bit more intentional. Like I said, for me, when I'm angry, I start shouting. My voice goes a little bit higher. So I have to catch myself. Like, okay, your voice is in a panda. And I'll just be like, I'm sorry. Like, can mommy have me time?
Oh.
And gladly, he'll be like, mommy, me time? Yeah.
And he's only 3.
Yes.
But it's good for him to see that being demonstrated early.
Just to understand that that's how you can just controlling your emotions. Obviously, he's emotionally not developed completely because the emotional brain at that time hasn't quite developed. But it's good that he learns that, controlling emotions involves using your words. It involves apology. It involves stepping away from the situation. I wish I knew those things when I was younger because I had a really bad temper. But I had to pray for God to deliver me from that temper because half the time I'm just visualizing how I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3. And the rage used to last for a while. But I remember just telling God, take it away from me. I don't know what the source is. I don't know why I'm acting up like this, but just take it away. And he miraculously did it.
Wow.
But even at that, I always say miracles is not that one touch hivi. Kuna vile Holy Spirit atakuteach vitu fulani. Like how to behave in a certain situation, how to respond to certain things, to stop hurting people. And I'm sure in those rages back in the day, I probably hurt people. And I feel bad about it, but I can't go back and go like, I'm sorry about what happened.
What's different now, when you look at your life today and, how you are, in the club scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's quite different. It's more peaceful, focused. And I know that the guys will argue about that, but whatever I was looking for there, I didn't find. I found it in Christ.
Wow.
Grounding, anchoring, the full works. I was pursuing passion because I loved music. And I just thought that that's the way to express it and everything. And that was the avenue that I found to express my love for music and my passion for music. However, it comes in a lot of things. There's so many things. Weirdly enough, towards the end of me getting out, I actually found the whole situation revolting.
Wow.
It's so interesting. I used to enter the club, and for the first time, I'd been performing in clubs for like 15, 16 years straight. I'm smelling the alcohol, I'm smelling the cigarettes, and I'm irritated. Wow. And I'm like, how is this irritating me now? As in, meanwhile, 16 years in,
zote zilikuwa zako,
ilikuwa zone, But all of a sudden, I find it very revolting and very irritating, and I can't wait to leave. So I'm there for the performance, and I'm thinking I need to get out. What is irritating me is the smell of alcohol and the smoke.
Is it the atmosphere or?
The atmosphere. Tunasikizana.
What? And that time you're not a Christian?
The funny thing is, things were happening behind the scene.
Oh, wow.
God was... beyond my time, young lady.
Yeah.
And as that happened, and the more it increased and everything, so I found that there's a joy I used to have before with music. It vanished. And it became now like a job. Nenda job, nenda wax. There's no passion. Nenda wax. Naamka asubuhi, where am I performing? What am I doing? What's the set and everything? And I'm literally just... the passion was gone. Long gone. Completely. So even when I'm in that club, I'm thinking my set is 45 minutes. I'll do this, I'll do that. So I'm busy noticing things I should not be noticing. And wishing I was not there.
Had you always been in that space where you knew you loved music, from when you were in high school? And maybe even at first I should ask you, how did you find yourself, getting into the club scene from such a young age.
Yes.
You know, because you started in the club scene when you were 19.
18.
18.
Yeah. I was quite young.
Wow. That's like straight after high school.
Straight after high school, music took me there. And I really wanted to pursue the music thing. I was actually serious about it. Despite the fact that my parents are like, wait. Stay in school. I'm like, yeah, school, don't worry. That degree we are bringing home.
Yeah.
That's not an issue.
Yeah.
But this music we are doing.
Yeah. This is not an option. It happen.
This one is happening.
Yeah.
I grew up in Thika, which is just basically, now it's modern.
Yeah.
I mean, I drive there these days and I'm like, whoa, things have changed.
Yeah.
It has changed so much. It was just basically an out-of-town, quiet town. I don't know which town I can describe Thika town with right now. Because Thika town is like about 45 minutes to an hour from Nairobi.
Now, yeah.
It's like growing up in Naivasha hivi, like right now. And so ukikam tao kwa zile za, hey, things are different. You can tell the difference because you're very used to basic things and you're content.
Yeah.
You are actually content. You're not even pressuring your parents at you. No, you're content.
It's not in your space.
It's not in your space. You don't even know about it. When you come and you interact with your parents' friends from town, at the time you discover like, by the way, it's, you could get that, you could do this, but you're content with your lifestyle out of town.
Yeah.
So when I got into music, it was straight after high school. We had a gospel a cappella group called Sobriety.
You had a gospel a cappella group.
Yes.
Na mlikuwa mnajiita Sobriety.
Sobriety.
Such a good name.
So we just used to do gospel a cappella. Luckily for us, we actually started getting gigs and stuff. And
As Sobriety?
Yes.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the group broke up when I was about 19. We really did not go into the club scene around that time. Hatukuingia. Yes.
You still stuck as a gospel a
we
cappella
still stuck
group.
as a gospel a cappella group. And, as a group, there's some guys who will check you. There are those who are like, hi, but if you take that show, money will come in. I don't know what, but there's ones who will be checking you like, hi, but you are moving away from what we are about and everything. So it wasn't until the group started breaking up. Now guys started going to campus. Me had already been put in campus because my parents were so scared that I was going to pursue music from day one. So it was like straight from high school, results come out, straight into school. So, I was already in Campo. So I was double dealing. I go to campus, I finish my classes, I go do music.
Yeah.
So when everybody else started joining campus, I realized that they are not double dealing.
Yeah,
them
they
it
just
was
focus on
school,
books. Yeah.
One was becoming a medical doctor, another was doing something else. So it was only two of us who pursued music. One of us pursued music professionally. That's what she did for her undergrad at Berkeley.
Oh, wow.
So lucky
Who's
for
this?
her, Viola.
Okay.
Viola Karori.
Okay.
So Viola was lucky enough
to do to actually study what she loved.
What she loved.
Yeah.
We had the full strategy. I'd actually selected, I don't know that still happens today. Someone from Gen Z will probably hear this statement and excuse me. I don't know that still happens till today. So for campus, I had selected music as number 2. Which most people select it, music at KU as number 2.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that I get a place. So regardless of what my parents will try.
At least you can unaingia.
Yeah. Not necessarily nimeingia uni, but it's music.
Yeah.
But my parents, of course, they didn't wait for that selection.
Oh, so you just finished and immediately?
The results came out and I went straight to campus.
Yeah.
So it was after the girls left, that now I started getting into the scene. Pole pole.
Yeah.
Shock. Nimetoka Thika.
Yeah.
I'm probably dressing, now I look back, I was probably dressing like a Shags model, as in I was clueless. Clueless. Like fashion-wise.
Yeah.
What is and what is not. And I'm just looking around like, okay, this is what people are doing and everything. Me, I'm there because of music. I'm thinking, okay, how do I get to perform? Who do I need to talk to?
Yeah.
What kind of a track do I need? So I was just basically trying to learn the industry. Luckily for us as Sobriety, we got to know Shilton. I I know that you know.
I can remember Shilton, yeah.
That was Dicky, Kevin Obanjo, and everything. So from then, that's when I learned. I got to know a lot of people in the industry. It was through them that I got introduced to a lot of people in the industry. So yeah, even though nilingia club scene.
So did they consider you as this kind of naive girl who's coming from?
They knew,
Pika?
as in till today. Big Ted also was in that story. Till today, I don't think Big Ted has ever erased his Tagsmodo image of me. It's like, you're this girl from Thika, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You because you didn't have much of an engagement with city life.
I didn't.
And now here you are in a gospel group called Sobriety, and you know, those days I remember if you were in CU, you were in CU like hardcore.
So yeah, things started changing slowly by slowly. I really wanted to get gigs. So in my quest for looking for a production house and everything, again through, I think we're really hustlers. Come to the
there was no plan B.
for us as a girl group, we even saved up money and went to Ted Josiah and paid him for a track.
Did he give you the track?
He gave us a track, but what he told us remained as a memory forever. He said that I don't see how this is going to work in the urban scene. He was honest. You know, now that I look back, he was extremely honest. Then we did not take that honesty kindly.
Of course, you're young. This guy's trying to crush your dreams.
Totally cut. Alisama, this thing, I don't see it happening in the working in the urban scene. However, you could try Joy Bringers. Totally cut. Yani.
Joy Bringers.
Tumeenda tumemember tufanye track because that guys want to get the urban scene.
He took your joy away right there.
Yeah, and then he Joy Bringers. Simnataka kuinga gospel and then he Joy Bringers. Tulikatch vibaya sana.
Wow.
So after that, the group I think got a bit demoralized. That's the time guys started going to campus and everything.
Yeah.
So I started looking now for who else will produce me that doesn't think I'm Joy Bringers material.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You must have a show power. And you're young and
restless and ambitious.
Yeah.
Hey. Yes, that was a story and a half.
And so now, were you like the Beyonce of the group?
No,
you know, every group has like a Beyonce, or you know,
I was the least likely.
Justin Timberlake.
I was the least likely. Maybe number 2, number 3 apple.
Because there was Viola.
Viola was there, and Viola was, Viola can sing.
I mean, for her to go to Berkeley.
Yes. Yeah. Viola, and it was her vocal, whatever, that got her into Berkeley.
Yeah.
So Viola, even from high school, where was still in the group, she was like consistently winning soprano solos, alto solo.
Wow.
Going to the national level. So she was like, yeah. Me, my claim to fame in the group was songwriting. After the group was broken up, I'm like, by the way, these songs I'm writing, see, I can sing them. But in terms of vocal ability, let me be honest with you. If any of those girls had launched into the industry, it should have been intense.
What?
They were incredibly talented.
That's amazing,
till today.
Yeah. Is Viola pursuing music still today?
Viola still does, but focuses a little bit more on software. Not software engineering, sound engineering. Am I saying software? Yeah, sound engineering. So she basically now focuses on sound engineering. But
so
she still does music.
Still music, yeah.
Still does
music. Think about it.
Yeah.
So how did you, how did you get into Ogopa? And because now
after Ted met me story at Joy Bringers, I'm thinking, hey, that means that we need a more urban, now the girls have gone. I'm thinking, hey, I need to get the person who has the urban sound right now. Because if I get someone else, I'll end up into Joy Bringers category. And I'm a solo singer. So I had the intention to record with Ted, but he was so busy. He was extremely busy. I think he had a lot of artists. He had Akina Gidi,
Akina Necessary Noise.
Necessary Noise, as in he was packed.
Yeah.
In fact, at that point in time, his pet project was Necessary Noise.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I don't think
he had Akina Nameless, remember? Yeah.
So he was packed with like really a lot of artists, Red Sun. So one day I'm coming from studio and I bump into Red Sun and I'd heard a song that he had done with Baby Cool.
Yeah.
That had that urban kick and everything. So I asked him, like, that guy who did that track for you, that producer, who is he? And he was like, oh, Lucas. And I was like, yes, him. It's like, oh, let me give you his number. And he freely gave the number.
Yeah.
And I took some time before I called because I wanted to be sure. And I wanted to write a song that was not going to be Joy Bringer's material.
As in for you, your point of reference, you ran away from being a Joy Bringer's material. Go the opposite direction.
That thing, yeah. So I call Lucas and I tell him, oh, I'm a gospel singer. I have a song. Would you like to listen to and everything? I had my cash ready. So I asked him how much production was going to cost. He told me his cost. I was like, okay. And yes, I met him. I showed him the song, and that was the song, I Believe in All of You.
Oh my gosh. That was your first song?
That was my first song.
So I don't even know where I came across the song, but
yes.
I had this compilation, and I still have it on CD.
That's nice.
I still have it on CD. And I remember you didn't release, I don't know if you released it immediately, because I got it after maybe your second jam. Because now I had a point of reference with Amani.
Yes.
You know,
excuse me.
because now you had your song with Nameless.
Yes.
You know, it's like, and people already knew you. But I did not know that, I Believe was your first single.
That was my first single. And yes, me, I entered as a gospel artist. And I found the sound.
It's not Joy Bringers.
It's not Joy Bringers. This could work.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I was like, I need to do an urban sound, but gospel. I wish I'd stuck. Anyway. The vision was there.
Yeah.
However, with time, I think with time, I just slowly got derailed.
How did that happen? Because you started with this gospel jam. Did you get much airplay at that time?
It did.
Okay.
It got reasonable airplay for a first song.
I'm pretty sure Mudoni Buika must have played it a lot.
Donnie played it. Kev at that point in time was doing Afrofusion on Capital FM, so he played it too.
Yes.
So it got airplay for a first song. Not bad.
Oh, that's what's
For a
up.
first song, haikuwa mbaya.
So how did this gradual fade happen?
The gradual fade happened when I wasn't really plugged onto the gospel thing at that point in time. I was producing with Ogopa. There was no gospel artist not stable at that time.
And the rocking band with
Kina Googs and Vinny Banton ndio walikuwa huko.
What's attack Kina Googs? What about Nani
Baby
Bana?
Cool, Chameleon.
Yeah, Mos. What's the guy's name? Issa.
Buccaneers at that time.
Yeah, Buccaneers.
Yes. So I actually started being very disconnected from the gospel urban scene.
Yeah.
There were very few people who were around me at that time who were even connected to anything gospel.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, okay, fine. The gradual was, we can do inspirational. So aside from inspirational to just sing about love. See, love is good. God is love. Ima too about love. And I'm thinking, wow. I struggled with writing love songs. I really struggled.
Writing them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I am being told to write about a boy and I'm like, ay, surely. So what are we saying about this boy? Amedu?
Were you not dating at this time?
I was, but I was like, hey, that's a bit intense. It's cheesy. I was like, hey, it's very cheesy. And why should he even know I've written a song about him? No, atafura jamani.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's so funny.
So I struggled with that for a while. But with time, because I really, really, really wanted to be successful and I really wanted to venture into the scene and I could see things were happening, I could just see how people's tracks were blowing up.
Yeah.
1 minute you're with Googs and Vinny Banton in the studio and people don't know much about them. The next thing, Gidora is released and they're like superstars.
Yes.
Lord, my time needs to come.
Yeah.
So then, nimeshapoteza plot ya gospel kabisa.
Ulikomezama sasa.
Sasa nimehama.
Wow. How do you, was your next single now the one that you did with Nameless or did you do another jam?
I did another jam. I did like, how many jams? 1, 2, 3, 4. I did about 4.
Oh, before that one?
Before the one with Nameless.
Wow.
Then I went into an EDM phase, dance EDM phase.
Yeah.
And I did an EDM track in Kikuyu. I did a dance.
Kama Sophia Nzao saa hizi.
Weirdly enough, as in, yes. And actually someone tagged me on Instagram and they were like, you are doing this. I'm like, yeah, I remember that song.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that that was among, I think, like my second, third song.
Mm-hmm.
I did a dance, like 2 dance songs and 1 EDM one.
Yeah.
Then, was it in between? But there was an EDM cast situation going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's the time Nameless was like, it wasn't Nameless, it was the producer who hooked us up. It was Lucas. Mm-hmm. So Lucas was like, okay, I want you to feature on a song. I was like, phew. And at that point in time, I didn't, as in, I was okay.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to break into the scene.
Yeah.
So when he mentioned it was Nameless, I was like, what? Nameless, that time wametoka na tracks nini.
Yeah.
Wao ndo wanafunga show tukienda mashows.
Yes.
Like, yeah, this is gonna be good.
Ndo wanafunga show.
Yeah, ndo wanafunga show. You know that thing of fungang show.
Yeah.
Ndo curtain raisers.
Yeah.
So that's when we got to do Ninanoki. Mm-hmm. Which was such an awesome experience.
Yeah.
Did I know the song was a hit? No.
You didn't expect it to be popular.
Me, I didn't expect it to be popular. Me, I just needed a song to break me into the scene.
Yeah.
Not to
revolutionize their life.
Into this. It just changed everything. I was not used to it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Now, the downside to that is you come from this Ninanoki high. Mm-hmm. You have like one other averagely known song.
Yeah.
And some EDMs huko ndani.
Yeah. Oh, man. The guys do not know.
And you can't really hold a show on your own.
Yeah.
Nameless, of course, he's moved on. Now he's doing songs with Issa and Lenny and they're hitting.
Yeah.
You don't have a follow-up hit. Mm-hmm. So the pressure began from the studio. Like, what's your follow-up? What's your follow-up? What's your follow-up? Mm-hmm. And that pressure was intense. Mm-hmm. It was very, very intense. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess it's hard for us to be able to imagine it because you have a hit, it should be easy to come up with another banger.
I didn't write it, first of all. So, as in, I'm not even the one who wrote it.
Yeah.
So I doubted myself so much. Like, do I even have the ability to write something like this?
Yeah.
And it was just a season of listening and writing.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Getting to a point where I was writing every day.
What?
I had to keep on writing. I'd listen to it. I'd be like, no, this is not good enough. I write, I listen, this is not good enough. Like, I was putting myself under so much pressure to just come up with something to follow up.
Yeah.
Until I remember now they just told me you need to release a song. You need a song now.
Yeah.
And I was given a deadline. Me, I didn't have. So when I'm in campus, I have a friend. His name is Pato. Mm-hmm. He was hitting on my friend called Nadia. Mm-hmm. And he could sing. So... So I'm listening to his songs and I'm like, Patrick, you write? Yeah, I write. So he's showing me his songs and I'm thinking, I find a solution.
You have someone to write your love jam.
And I heard him talk to you. Let me walk with you, talk to you.
Oh my
was written by Pato.
So
the Swahili part. Big Pin came and did his rap. So that's how it actually happened. It was in campus and he was writing love songs for my friend. But I thought to myself, this one is in love.
Just ride on.
I'm going to ride on you real good. But it turned out to be really good.
That was such a nice song. Man.
Yes.
What were your parents saying at this time? Because I'm assuming for them they're church.
After Ninanoki,
they
knew this one.
I'm
a shaenda.
Were they concerned? Did they try to hold you back?
They were.
Because I'm assuming they're church people.
They are. My mom then was a church person. My dad not quite.
Yeah, but still, they were not church people, but they were guys of church.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was more like, what are you going to do? How are you going to tell this to them? But then I was like, But I was like, just maintain your grades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or him was more concerned about your grades.
Yes. He was like, maintain your grades in school. I don't want to see you going below this point.
Yeah.
So I told him that's okay. I have no problem with that because school was easy.
Yeah.
No. Okay, that doesn't come across.
Because kuna wengine kama sisi we were struggling.
in the sense that the course I was doing was not really that hard. And the beauty of USIU is that you can manage your schedule.
Yeah.
So what I used to do is Friday, there are no classes at USIU. Perfect. Because, now you can, go
gig.
do your gig and everything.
You can even gig on Thursday night.
Exactly, yeah. So now Mondays, I used to try and make sure I have minimal classes on Monday. That if I'm doing any classes on Monday, they're starting from 2 p.m. So if I've gone out of town, I can actually come back, rest, go to class.
Yeah.
So that's what I loved about USIU, that you could, you could work out your schedule. You could choose when you want to have your classes. Yeah.
And the lecturers used to show up.
Yeah, the lecturers used to show up. Lecturers were gonna come. Leo kabla nikam nilikutana na lecturer moja. She was my English lecturer. And she's like, I hope I was a good teacher. I'm like, we acha bana. But she was with her friends. I was like, I'll spare you. You were not good. Like the most she used to give for that class was B.
Wow, nobody got an A.
She was like, Kenyans don't know English.
Was she American?
Yes.
Oh, man.
She's American. She's like, y'all don't know English. And I'm like,
it's our second language. It's not our first language. You're not born speaking it.
The most you'll get is a B. So I remember how I even ended up in her class was, there was another teacher who used to give like A's. She was a bit more lenient.
Yeah.
I missed her class. Her class jazzed before I could feel my name. So I discovered that, hi, I'm having a class with this lady, and I know the most she'll give is a B.
Yeah.
But nilisemacha nivumilia.
Oh, man. Lecturers.
But I learned a lot in the sense that, sorry to digress,
That's okay.
but she's excellent. She was excellent. Like she pushed us guys. I learned so much stuff that I still apply till today. Just in terms of even when you're doing your documents and everything, this should be this, you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
This is a comma splice. You shouldn't have a sentence that is this long and everything. So, yeah, the impact is there till today.
Yeah.
Lakini your A ulikuwa tunatafuta.
Never ever.
Nope.
It's not coming your way.
Did not happen.
So you're pursuing music. And is that all after, of course you finished campus. Is that all you were doing now after campo, or just music alone?
I was doing music alone.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember the day I graduated. I had to finish graduating, have lunch with my parents and my siblings and my grandma.
And you wear your mushaino?
No, I didn't have mushaino then.
Oh, wow.
I had to be decent.
Yeah.
So in graduation day. And then take off my graduation gown and go for sound check. It was Safari 7s. So that same day, nilivua tu gown. I folded it, put it there. Told my parents, okay, I need to go. I have a gig.
Yeah.
And I went and I did my gig.
So now, your point of transformation, you had mentioned earlier that you were going through this phase of you are in this place, you're not feeling the job, you're not liking the atmosphere, At what point did you feel like there needs to be change in your life? It's like God is calling you in a different direction. And then you have all this clout and fame that's calling you in a different direction.
Yeah.
How did you navigate through that?
That was tough. Like I said, it was a process. This happened over a period of time. Things just changed. I think Mombi Amadi ilikuwa intensify. Till today, she's never opened up what she did, but one day I'll get her to just open up.
Yeah.
But I believe she had probably intensified and
I'm not losing my daughter.
I am not losing my daughter.
Wow.
So I just started, like I said, it was just a shift and everything. I just became work. Like I've gone, there's a gig, I perform, I come back home. A lot of emptiness. I realized that, again, there's a lot of emptiness. Yeah. That yes, there was this fame and everything, you're doing well, your career is going very well, you're earning from it, but there was a lot of emptiness. And I started to try and get back to where I'd always been. I mean, there was more that was happening. I guess with time I'll open up about that. But I started now listening to gospel music. And discovering that was the place.
Oh, wow.
That was a place that gave me joy. That was a place that I actually enjoyed doing this. So I started getting into moments of worship when I'm in the house, just to worship, just praise, because that was where I was from. That was my comfort zone. And the more I did it, the more on this other side,
gigs
gonna come. But when I go for the gigs, I'm being irritated by everything. I'm being irritated by the smoke. I'm being irritated by the alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm being irritated even by just watching people. I'm like, that dude is taking advantage, as in swinging into my mother mode. And I'm like, am I concerned about that? I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But
it's bothering you.
But it's bothering me.
Yeah.
And as I realizing that a change is happening slowly by slowly, and I used to postpone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting born again this weekend.
Wow.
Gig. In India. Because for me, getting born again did not mean I could go back and work the next day. It meant that I had to literally leave everything. There was no I'm born again, but bado na perform kwa club. It was not going to work.
So it was going to be a drastic change.
It's going to be a drastic change. So I resisted it for a while.
So I remember for me when, because I was in the club scene. And so I'm in the clubs and I'm mixing at JK's and it used to be such a vibe.
Yeah.
JK's used to be packed with young guys and, we are listening to music that we love.
Yes.
We're in this culture. We're not even faking it. You're in it. So every music that you're playing is not songs that you don't believe in.
Yes.
They're speaking your language. And so in that space, I remember feeling this. I try to explain to guys, but it's hard to explain. It's like there was a tugging in my heart. You can feel.
You're being pulled.
You're being pulled. It's like God is saying, come. You need to come.
Spend my time.
Yeah. Because I could tell it's like the weekends will come and I'll be like, man, I need to do something with Jesus. He's calling me, but what do I do now?
What do I do?
I'm in the club scene. The club is happening. When I look at guys of church, I don't feel them.
You're not connected?
No. No. I do not want to be in their space at all.
That's interesting.
And then I look at my boys. I'm like, I don't want these guys to leave me behind. They'll help me.
They'll help.
Because we have all sat down and discussed gospel Christian guys. And we had all said,
they're fake.
We do not want anything to do with those jamas. Then they hear.
That you've gone.
Do
you know I'm a fake guy?
Those guys do not want anything to do with me.
You're part of the fake crew now.
It was difficult. And so my transformation, my change was, like I could feel God tugging my heart and I had to get to that place where I decided that I'm not going to I'm going to be a different kind of Christian for my boys.
Yeah.
Not even for the other guys. Like I wanted to show my boys
that this can be cool.
This can be cool.
Yeah.
You can be a Christian and still be trendy.
Yes.
You can be a Christian and, dress in a dope way, like still wear earrings, have colored hair, and I was not going to abandon them and hoping that they don't abandon me in the process. How was that? How was that for you? Did you feel the same kind of tugging in your heart?
It was the same kind of tugging. I looked around and I was like, do I even have Christian friends? As in,
I had none.
None existed.
Yeah.
Not even one, except, strangely, there was one. Strangely enough, she had been my friend from when I was 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
Like from when we were 6, we were friends. We were in the same primary school, we were in the same high school. Campus, she was in a different campus. But still were friends.
Yeah.
And even through an adulthood, we were buddies. So she's the only one I knew that was still born again.
Yeah.
And we're still keeping in touch. She was just one friend.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, fine. My friend is there. Sarah is there. But then again, she doesn't live here. She was living in Dubai then. So hata ni zile unataka kumpigia simu but hata ujui what corner of the earth she is in. She could have traveled, she could be anywhere at some point in time.
Yeah.
And I just, it really scared me. Like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Because yes, my mom is born again, but mother, you can't share with her all.
Oh, yeah.
No, she'll quickly switch from being pastoral to mother like this.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do again? So yeah, that's a tricky balance right there. So that was really, that was tricky.
Yeah.
But not as much as the work, like this being your work. I think when you get to a point where you're working so much, I didn't have a lot of friends around me. And it wasn't that important to me. You know, if you want to stay, that's how. I mean, half of the time I'm working. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'll see you once in a month. I'll see you after 3 weeks. So I wasn't really that attached to my friends at that point in time. Yeah, there were friendships that were there. I valued the friendships. But the major thing that was the tug of war was my work. And I used to ask God, what am I going to eat?
Yeah.
How am I going to pay rent?
This is
my
this is how you provide for me.
Yeah, this is how you provide for me. So what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know? And with time, I quickly realized that it was not going to be a walk in the park. Yes. That if I was going to just, sorry to use this word, pull the trigger, I just know that I've pulled it. And
there's no going back.
There's no going back. And it was not going to be a walk in the park. I had to get to that point to realize that it was not going to be business as usual.
Wow.
So I struggled with that for a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine, you know, because at least for me, in my perspective, by the time I was getting to the place of surrender, it was very clear for me what God wanted me to do. At that point, it was like, you're going to stop doing this, and I want you to go back in that same world and reach out to, you see those guys you were with in the clubs?
No, I'm sending you to those guys.
I'm sending you to those guys.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, you're sending me to them, but I have no tools. That time, because but I think it's the same time when you were doing your song, I believe, it's the same time I was just getting into the gospel scene. We didn't have much gospel music. So Miniko, niende na nini sasa?
Nenda kuplay?
Yeah, and I remember I became a Christian and I continued playing in the club still for like a year. You know, like I used to tell guys I'm a Christian. I still used to go to JK's.
Wow.
I got a radio show on Family.
Yeah.
And I'd go do my radio show. I'm not getting paid. So I get a wedding. I'd go do my gigs for the weddings. I still go do the club scene, you know. And till it got to one point, I remember I went with Adrian for this gig. It got to a place where now the conflict was so much.
Yeah.
So I'd take the gigs. So guys for University of Nairobi would call me and ask me to go do their elders night or do a gig for Isaac. So this one was at the Hilton. It was in July. I'll never forget this one. So we go to the Hilton and I called Adrian. I was like, bro, I've been given this gig by Isaac guys. Can we go together? You do you.
Yes.
And I'll do me. I'll play gospel music. You play the old school jam, all these jams of these guys. Actually, at that time, it was the freshest music at that time, you know. So I told Adrian, you play the secular music, I'll play the gospel music. And that night, at Hilton, at the ballroom, I just felt in my heart God saying, you can stop this, I'll take care of you. Yeah. Like, you know how you hear a voice, you almost want to turn around.
Yes.
So there's no one, but you've had that thing saying, stop this, I will take care of you.
Yes.
And from that day, in my entire music, that night, the following week actually, I went and I gave it to the DJs to work with us like, I'm done.
Yeah. It's about obedience and surrender. Yeah. So I remember I struggled with it. We struggled. Yeah. To leave. Hey, I've guys had a tug of war. Me, I was not.
You're not letting
I'm sure even the angels will be like, tell them. So I may struggle. I'm like, so what am I supposed to eat? So you said you provide for us, but I can also do this while as in I tried to negotiate my way to around it. So it got to a point whereby I knew now the conflict was becoming very intense. Wow. And there's a lot of warfare. For me, warfare was involved.
Wow.
So
when you say warfare, like?
There's a lot going on.
Okay.
There's a lot going on. On the other hand, it's not like the devil was just going like, you want to go? Things were happening. Enjoy
yourself.
No. Things were happening. Things were happening. So it was a proper tug of war. And I remember waking up one morning and I asked God, I told him, I didn't ask for this. I'll call over my life. So I didn't ask you. How can you decide to give someone something they didn't ask for?
Yeah.
So that was now my argument for that day.
I didn't ask you to give this to me.
So we've gone to go, mom. And I'm like, by the way, I didn't ask for this. So I'm getting born again. Yes, there's something you want to do in my life and everything. But I didn't ask you. So why would you put something on people when they don't want it?
Yeah.
That was my question.
Wow.
So me having get arguments now. Later on in that day, was it later? I think it was later that day, 2 days later. I can't remember the time frame. He reminded me of the place and the time when I asked for it.
Oh.
Like he brought it to remembrance. And his question to me was very exact. Do you still want it? And when I look back at that question, I'm like, oh, shiba. Kuna vile nilikuwa nimesumbua.
Yeah.
So I was like, so does this chick still want this thing or not? Because now she's really fighting.
It's like in a relationship.
Yes.
It's like how you ladies ask us to define this relationship.
Yes. You still want it?
Yeah.
And I sat and I thought about it, balancing tears, crying at the same time. And I was like, yeah, I still do.
Wow.
And I knew then that was the beginning of the end.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because I had struggled. Me, it was total tug of war. I had refused. In fact, it reached a point I was so angry. I told him, in fact, take the voice. Take it.
Wow.
I don't want it. And I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I'm still singing.
Or you're waking up to try to see if you can sing.
So I was a bit stubborn. Like I said, if the angels had a tail to tell, they would probably like, stop on this one. This one still wanted to hold on. This one. Tell the truth. But his question was very clear. Do you still want it? And I said yes. Because I remember I was at youth, I think it was like was it holiday camp? Can't remember. It was a cinema. I think it was Odeon on Jogo Road. And Werimo Nelson was the one preaching. Now that time nilikuwa nimekoka kila kitu, and she said, who would like to, receive what I have? Basically that day we received mantles, and we put our hands up, and she's like, put your hands up. Put my first hand up. She's like, put both of them. Mimi. So God reminded me, you asked for this.
Yeah.
And even then she explained what it means and everything. And I was comfortable with it. In fact, I was excited.
Wow.
So I knew. But with time I had forgotten. So I was reminded. Kitu ni wewe uliuli?
Yes.
Ni wewe uliuliza. So do you still want it? And I said yes. So I knew then it has to change.
Now this is the full embrace now that's coming.
Yeah.
How's that? How's that journey been? I mean, since...
Tough. That was tough.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. I knew my life was going to change. So that I don't become 50-50, because I'd become very 50-50. Like I used to go to church. Guys can attest. Maybe by the nilikuwa naenda, I do a gig. After a gig, maybe I'll go moja mbili tatu. The next day niko kwa church. Hangi from here to next year. Headache. But I'm there.
Yeah.
And everything. I was so hungover. But I'm there, But now I knew it was time to make a decision. So that I don't look back and I don't backtrack.
Yeah.
I joined Bible school. And every time I used to go to church, like on Sunday, those days I used to go and I'm hanged and everything. The dean for Bible school at the church used to look at me and he was like, I'm waiting for you. Make your decision. I'm waiting for you.
Wow.
So I used to see him and I'm like, hi, Dean. He's like, bado nakungoja. So that day I went, I'm like, Dean, I'm joining. He was like, hallelujah. I've been waiting for you.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So there's going to be a radical change.
There's going to be a radical change.
I guess there's no 50-50.
There's no 50-50.
Yeah.
So it was just yanking the Band-Aid like, Sawa, let's do this. And we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you enjoyed the journey so far?
I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. There are things that I didn't know I was missing in my life. That I'm missing.
But you had everything.
You can take comfort in, what is it called again? Yeah, you can actually get comfortable in something mediocre without knowing there's something better. Yeah.
That's very well put.
Yeah. I was comfortable in the mediocrity. I was comfortable in what my life was then without understanding that God had more for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been at this now for how long now? 8?
It's been 7 years.
7 years.
I really, let me be honest with you, that process of agreeing.
You agreed for 1 year?
We're talking about years.
Oh, man.
A lot, like I said, a lot happened in between then. You know, I met my husband during that time. Even when I was going for that Bible school, I told him, nimeenda kuokoka. Unakam.
Yeah.
Nimeenda. Me, I've gone.
What did he say?
He just looked at me like, are you serious? And I said, yes, this is it.
That's the direction I'm heading.
That's the direction I'm heading. So a lot happened. Man. That when I'm talking about that period of struggle, it was intense for a very long time.
Yeah.
But I just told him when I met my husband, I wasn't born again. I got born again when we were together. Yeah, that's when I made my decision.
Wow.
So I told him, Sawa, you know, that time you're married and everything, and you're like, let me just do this. And I told him, me nimeenda.
Did he support you through the...
Part of him was glad, but a part of him wanted to understand what does this mean for us.
My wife is out of the clubs.
Yes, there's a part of him that like, this one, yes, ametoka soko. We've secured that bag.
Yeah.
But there's also another part of him that was like, but mimi bado niko huko, so what does this mean for me?
Yes.
So he even asked, is like, so what does that mean for me?
Yeah.
And I joked. I was like, Sunday church every day, Kesha Friday. I joked around with him. But I told him, it's a personal decision. You make your personal decision at your own time when Christ convicts you. So, ini yangu.
It's my decision.
Exactly. And I told him, just let me be.
That's amazing.
And he graciously was, okay. Nataka kuokoka, sawa.
So, I got to find out that you're a believer through your husband.
Yes, you told me.
Yeah,
yes.
I'd gone for lunch with my famo and friends at Mambo Italia. And so I stood up to leave and I got into a conversation with this guy.
Yes.
I don't even know how we started talking. He had seen me on Kubamba.
Ah, nice.
So it's like, I've seen you on television and I know what it is that you do. So we started talking. And he was like, so my wife is Amani. And, she's now a Christian and she's doing gospel music.
Yes.
And he shared with me your song. And I was like, what? He's the one who brought me. I didn't even hear it from the media. He's the one who told me about the transition that happened in your life.
Yeah.
And I was like, super pumped.
Yeah.
I was not even concerned that Amani is going to go back, because sometimes people are scared about that. I'm like, I'm a product of the club and I never went back to the club. Why can't I have faith in someone else who's come from my world? And size 8 had also gone through the same.
Yes.
So like I was so pumped and I was so happy for you.
So yeah, funny enough, he was more like, yeah, she's born again, yeah. So what are you, so he was quite excited, but with time he started understanding what that meant. Like I'm like, I can't go there. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't be doing this. And no, even he started challenging. Where is it written that you can't do this?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just convicted. Show me in the Bible. I'm just convicted not to do it. So, those discussions are still there till today. But I think in terms of him being more happy, he's happier.
That's so sad, man.
Yeah, he's happier about this girl than that girl.
Yeah. And of course, you can see the change that's happening in your life.
Yes, he can see that.
There's a place in the Bible where he talks about, for spouses. And I don't think it was just necessarily addressing the woman. And it says, you win them over by your good deeds.
Yes.
They'll see, like, if I'm in a relationship with my wife and she's not a Christian and I'm a Christian, that by the fact that she'll see what God is doing in my life, in that fruit of the Holy Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. Who does not want those things?
Yes.
So they're seeing these things coming out of my life or coming out of your life. And at some point, they'll ask themselves, man, there's a peace.
I want some of this.
There's a peace that this guy has. Things are chaotic.
Yes.
But there's a peace and a gentleness that this person has. This situation calls for you to go crazy.
Yes.
But you're patient and you're being kind.
Yeah. He sees that a lot. He'd be concerned about everything. Like, oh, this. And I'll just be there like, God's got us. I mean, What can I say?
Yeah.
And he's looking at me like, perhaps react. I'm like, so after reacting to Tadu, I just have to trust that what God says in his word is what's going to happen. I just can't not be trusting that because he has asked me to trust him and not worry. So I just have to do that. Are there instances where, as hubby and wife, he'll use that card to win an argument? Trust.
Yeah.
I'll be there pointing out my argument, defending myself, and he'll be like, do Christians even do that? And I'm like, no, don't start. You cannot use that card to win this argument. No. So of course, you'll be a bit cheeky and use
that's so
card
good, but you have someone who's challenging you in your faith.
Win.
Yeah,
Like,
to win an argument.
Christians do that. I'm like, you were the one who's going to ask me about this.
Yeah.
And I'll go in, I'll defend. Sometimes when I was doing the stuff on Satan's Church Online more consistently, there's one particular sermon he saw and he said, that sermon was for you.
Hey, it's not even for him.
I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's for you.
Wow.
You are preaching to yourself. Go listen to yourself. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at it and I'm like, so this one just wants to win arguments here. So yeah, he
That's
does.
so funny. Endo sikize samoni yako.
Endo sikize samoni yako. Hiyo samoni ilikuwa yako.
Ikuongeleshe sasa wewe mwenyewe.
Inakuongelesha wewe. Wewe. Kwanza this week.
Yeah. That's the worst.
Unafaa usikize hiyo samoni. I'm like, this one just wants to win an argument.
Oh man, that's very special though.
And being a woman, I'm like, I'm always right. Don't use that card.
That's very special, Bana.
Yeah.
Now, the other day, so Kambua started a podcast about,
I've been listening to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's done an amazing job. And she has this thing about unmothering the mother.
Yes.
And, I know that you got blessed with a baby in 2000.
Yes.
How was that journey for you guys?
Wow. It was just an unanswered prayer.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. That's an area I think the devil was playing around with in my life. And I was not even aware. There are areas where he can keep you in ignorance.
Yeah.
To delay your blessing. I got my first child when I was 40. And the journey was not that smooth. I wish I'd started the journey earlier. I was living in ignorance, total ignorance, And I had to really, really trust God.
Yeah.
And everything. I condemned myself for the longest time. I felt that maybe I wasn't having a child because I was being punished for my previous deeds and everything. But I had to constantly, I had to get to that place. Actually, where I feel the breakthrough happened was when I got to the place where I realized that he doesn't condemn me anymore. I had to get that conviction. Because yes, I was praying, but I was somehow still convinced that I'm paying for something that I did. And people will also emphasize that, you may be 1, 2, 3, and everything, and you're searching and you're thinking, okay, what is it so I can confess about it?
Sacrifice finally fanya.
And everything. But I never even got that deep. Coming from a Christian background, there were things I was very wary of. Okay. I could see stuff and I'm like, this wacha nisiende hapo because you're that unfamiliar territory. I didn't want to get into it. So it was more like I felt like I was being punished. And I was telling God only to come and realize that he doesn't even remember. I'm the one who's reminding him. He says your sins I will remember no more. So what is this that I'm tagging on to I'm being punished for this and everything. So once I got to that realization and conviction that he truly wants to see me blessed. He truly wants to see me be a mother in everything. Then I started engaging with more faith. And the turnaround point was I went through a series of surgeries. So at one point I went for a doctor's visit and he said that I needed to do surgery. Mentally, I was not prepared. That time, mentally, I was not prepared for that surgery. And I didn't even pray that much Because I was like, God, as in we are going back.
Wow.
That was the third one. And when we were going into the theater, I was now getting to a point where I was angry. And I realized that the devil had made such a mockery of my life that I go into theater to remove tissues. You know, I'd suffered fibroids for a while. So I go into theaters to remove tissues, not babies. Like, yani, I'm wheeled into theater to go remove tissues, not baby. I was angry. And that's the time we're just getting ready to go into the theater. And I told the doctor, this is the last time you're wheeling me into a theater to remove tissue. Next time you will wheel me into a theater, we're getting a baby out. Wow. And the doctor said yes. And the anesthesiologist said yes, we'll get a baby out next time. And from then on, I just intensified because I was angry. I was like, yani, he's just made a mockery that, we're in a theater, tissues. I was like, that's it. That is it. This is the end. This is the last day. And that's it. Recovery from that surgery, like I said, I was not mentally prepared, was intense. It was bad. Yeah.
Wow.
But God saw me through.
Yeah.
And my husband was there for me through the surgeries.
Oh, man.
And
that's good.
Even if he's not born again, I always say this, men are a spiritual authority in a home. Just their word alone, God honors.
Yeah.
Even him, you know, he could see what I was going through, the medication, the surgeries and everything. And I think even by surgery number 3, alikuwa amechoka. And going to the hospital and everything. When I used to go to the hospital, the lady, as in, used to give me my drugs hiding. You know, because they want people to see that they're fertility drugs and all that. So she was put it in a brown envelope and all the best, you know, and everything. And at that point, I was feeling like, this is not going to be my story.
Yeah, this has to stop.
This has to stop. And he joined in, not born again, but
he's believed it in now.
Now he's like, hey, by the way, his story is becoming intense because now we could now feel the pressure. We started feeling the emotional pressure, getting tired and all that. So he joined in and everything. And that really helped.
That's what's up. Man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So baby came. I was super excited.
Yeah. Yay.
Not after again another situation, you know. I conceived and I was convinced, you know, I knew that I had conceived and I checked and I hadn't gone to the hospital. So I had an event that weekend and I had planned to go on Tuesday to like check and everything. So unfortunately, I lost that particular baby.
Oh, man.
It was quite young, I think, because I didn't need to go and have whatever. I didn't think even I informed the gyno about it because I was like, But
it doesn't make it easy, though.
It's not easy. And now from that, it became even more.
Oh, man.
But the anger intensified. Holy anger ingiad kabisa. I was like,
We've done removing the tissue.
We've removed tissues.
You've gotten pregnant.
Yes.
You've lost the pregnancy.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So I became a bit more careful. I was still, you know, I knew I was pregnant because I had checked. But I had not gone to the doctor. Because I felt it was so young. I'm not was excited about it. I'm like, hey, let's see. I'm convinced. But yeah, that was lost. So by the time I was getting pregnant with my son, I was like, okay, this one I'm not losing.
I'm not losing this baby.
This one gotta stay. And everything. So yeah.
I remember when my wife and I were, so when we got married, we were like, and she did this with Kambua as well. And I think you need to go have a conversation with Kambua.
Kambua, yes.
Yes, you did.
She was actually very, Kambua was very instrumental in encouraging me when I got born again. Yeah. I had coffee with her.
She's such good people.
Her and Joyce Omondi. I mean, I have to thank God for those two.
Yes.
They just encouraged me and they were like, you can do this.
They're both amazing, incredible ladies.
Incredibly amazing women.
Yes. So when Debs and I, we got married and, you know, we were like, let's wait for like, you know, in the second year we can try for the baby. And we got into, I mean, we thank God the first year we're like, we didn't want a honeymoon baby. We're like, kwanza tujuane. Tujuane kwanza. And so went through the first year. In the second year, maybe like 3 months in, we tried and, we conceived.
Oh, wow.
And so, but then 10 weeks into the pregnancy, Debs was walking to Junction.
Wow.
And she calls me. We're supposed to link up. And she calls me. She's like, babe, I'm bleeding.
Oh, no.
And we said, just go straight to the hospital. And I'll meet you there. So she went straight to the hospital. And I think I got to the hospital like maybe Nairobi traffic, maybe 45 minutes, an hour in. And when she got to the hospital, they picked her up immediately.
Oh, no.
And so by the time I was going to the hospital, she just been told by the doctor that you've lost you've lost the baby. That was hard.
Yes.
And I remember us guys going through that. I was like, I felt pain, but nothing compared to what Debs felt.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, I can't even say I understand because I don't. Because this baby is in her.
Yes.
And, she's, man, there are all these body changes that are happening in her. She's getting ready.
Yes.
And we're at the 10 week.
Wow.
And the doctor had said, the guy had told us, he had talked to us and he had said, sometimes when you go through pregnancy, there's a natural process that happens and the body can reject the pregnancy.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you. It's just that the body can reject a certain pregnancy. I just want you to know that should that ever happen to you guys, don't think that it's anything that you've done.
Yeah.
It's just your body that has chosen to reject this particular pregnancy. So incredibly, like through that process, like like a couple of weeks later, we went through that.
Oh, sorry about that.
I mean, it was difficult, and it happened 3 times again later. With every baby, there was, the body rejected.
Yeah. Oh, so sorry about that.
But we thank God that we tried again, just like you guys.
We're back.
We tried again, and let me say we enjoyed the process. It was hard, going through the emotional turmoil, but God blessed us, with 3 beautiful kids. Even
I'm
though
your
with
fan on
every
Instagram. I love seeing. I have to say, like, you may not know it, but your posts sort of encourage me so much.
Oh man.
And it's just those little things of you saying that you're intentional about making pancakes for your kids and all that.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah. And you never realize that they're those things that they actually like that you do for them. And they look forward to activities and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Bana.
So I know about the pancake situation.
That happens. It became a family tradition for us. So every Saturday morning, whether nimeingia home 4 in the morning, I'll be up at 7 to make the pancakes. But then my second-born daughter has also picked it up. Like, she'll go and whip up the pancakes. Now she knows how to do it, but if she has a choice and I'm there, she'll never make them.
Oh, that's nice.
And maybe it would also be a good opportunity, I think, even as we're saying this, to encourage the Jamas who are probably listening to the pod or even watching.
Yeah.
And just say, sometimes, you could be going through a situation with your wife where you're trying to get a baby and, or even to the women who are out there, and maybe I shouldn't even be talking to, but because maybe my wife and I have gone through this and I've heard you mention it as well, that, sometimes you try for a baby and you conceive and you lose the baby and it can be painful.
It's very painful.
And maybe just to tell guys, and family members, just stay away.
So don't comment. As in, it's as it is, the person going through has so many questions. Just give a hug.
Yeah.
At that point, just give a.
Yeah, my wife went through things. She was blaming herself. I'm like, babe, how?
I blamed myself.
I've watched you with the baby. I've seen how you've carried yourself with the pregnancy. And she tried to keep fit, and even though her body was changing and everything else was going on, like, she was very careful.
me, I blamed myself. And I think till today, there's still probably a part of me that blames myself because me, I didn't stop working. It was business as usual.
And I
was up on my feet. I was, I was running my business. I didn't stop for a second. And I remember after I told my doctor about it, he just said that, when you get pregnant the next time, let me know.
Yeah.
And that time it was vicious. Everybody, it was all hands on board to keep
the baby
alive.
Yeah.
It was like rest.
Yeah.
Of
No
course,
stressful jobs.
no stressful, nothing and everything. And it did cost something. It affected my business. But I have a beautiful baby.
Man. Yeah.
I cannot, as in, in fact, I've slowly gotten back into it and everything because, business arudi.
Yeah, but
this is a soul we're talking about. An incredible soul.
Yeah.
So, that time round, when I knew for sure that I was pregnant, I told my doctor I was back on medication. I had to take medication to keep the pregnancy. And a lot of rest. Just chilling, as in just chill. And the doctor said for the longest time, I can't remember till what month, but I think until month number 5, he used to tell us, we don't have a baby yet. It's not yet first settled by saying it's not yet a pregnancy. So things are happening to you, but he's telling you. In other words, he was basically quiet.
Yeah.
Just don't tell anybody it's not yet a pregnancy and everything. Baby's growing and he's like, not yet. I still had fibroids and they were growing together. So the pain.
Oh man.
Let me begin to tell you the pain.
Yeah, man.
There was pain. So much pain that at one point, I don't think I've ever told anyone my pregnancy journey. This is interesting that I'm actually telling you. That's interesting. So the pregnancy was not at a walk in the park. I remember I had so much pain because of the fibroids. They were growing together. And the pain was intense. Wow. So one time I remember going to the chemist to get my medication. My doctor is one used to prescribe my medicine. He had a pharmacy. So when I went to the pharmacy, the painkillers that he gives me were not available. So I had to go to a pharmacy near home to get those painkillers and their prescription.
Yeah.
So when I gave the prescription to the pharmacist, he looked at it and looked at me and told me, your doctor prescribed this? And I said, yes. And he was like, he went back, talked to the pharmacist, like, how is it possible she's taking all this medication? And he called.
Oh, he called your doctor?
Yes, to understand why I have to take this amount of painkillers. And I was given the painkillers.
What?
Very strong painkillers. Very, very strong. But it was important because we're trying to keep a baby alive and everything. And even at that, when I read about the effects painkillers can have and everything. Now me, I started doing my own things of just sort of taking in the pain. Like I could be in pain, but I just lie down and I just used to pray. I used to speak in tongues. Because I was afraid of what the painkillers are doing to my child and everything. So it was a journey.
Oh my God.
It was a journey, and like I said, hey, painkillers ilikuwa mingi. Mpaka pharmacist akozileza, how is it possible that you're supposed to be taking? And he just told me, he's like, drink a lot of water. Just drink a lot of water, because he was scared. He was
concerned for you.
But doctor was coming from a point of, we need to keep the baby alive. We don't want the pain to trigger other things.
And rejection. Because the pain can, the body can reject it, because the body will be like, this is what is causing
pain.
So let's react by, let's protect by rejecting this.
Exactly.
I remember just before we got Baraka, this was hard. And he's our last born. At the 30th week, Deb's got another spotting of blood.
Oh no.
This was hard. And that's because we never found out the sexes of the baby. We just knew whatever we buy, nothing blue, nothing pink. All of the colors iko sawa. And same thing, straight to the hospital. And this time around, we were early. She was put on bed rest for like almost 2 times.
I was on bed rest.
Yeah. Like, it was hard.
It was hard.
Ah, man, my wife is a career woman. She does not believe in staying at home. But this one kept her grounded, and it was not easy. But we thank God that, she was able to bring the baby to term. And Baraka was born on the exact day. The 40th week.
Oh, nice.
On his due date.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
We pushed. The doctor kept asking me, can you push?
Yeah.
Can you push one more day? 2 more days?
Yeah.
So actually, by the time, of course, I had to have a C-section because of surgeries
You'd gone through.
Yeah, I'd gone through surgery, so it was not possible for me to push. So towards even the due date, we were, the doctor was like, can you do 1 more day? Can you do 2 more days?
Yeah.
So he gave me a frame with like a T. So choose between here what you'd like and everything. So he actually told me, he was like, the day we're going to deliver, he said, you probably had 12 more hours before now you started labor, because he wanted the baby to go almost full time.
Yeah.
So I did my best.
Yeah.
Was it easy? Yeah. I used to cry secretly, like away from my husband. I could just go to my room, lie down, and just cry.
Oh, man.
Cry in between worshipping, in between tongues, as in it was just, it was a mix of everything. Yeah. But I believed that God would do it.
Yeah, and you had this anticipation of this one that you waited for such a long time.
And I was like, this one has got to happen. Yeah. And I could feel like it was a strong one from, his kick was strong. Even when you check the heartbeat, and I was like, hey, very strong heartbeat. And the guy comes out and he's exactly like,
oh man,
the full ball of energy and life. And
that's incredible, Bana.
Yeah,
that's incredible. And
I'm looking forward to more. I've always wished for a big family, baby.
Oh, please keep them coming.
Despite being in the music business, my dream has always been to have a big family.
Yeah. And may God bless you with the desire of your heart.
Amen.
Yeah. And this has been very encouraging. And like I told you, I normally don't have any agenda on this show.
Amazing.
I'm just like,
I've never shared about my pregnancy journey. It's weird that I'm sharing it with a dude. So weird. But I'm sure it will bless someone.
Yeah. And, even as we come to the end, my producer there was just showing me, because I have 5 more minutes. She's kind of mean with her time. Anyway. So you're in this new space, and there's definitely joy that you're exuding, and you look peaceful, man. And
Amen.
Like there's a calmness.
Amen.
Probably this version was not there before.
Hey, no. God has worked on me. I've been panel beat, refresh and center.
Yeah.
Yes.
What has been a good one for you, like over the last 7 years? You're like, this has been beautiful.
Beautiful is just getting to know Christ and what he has in store for me. Finding my identity in him has been a beautiful experience.
That's what's happened.
Because before, I didn't know this, but I didn't really have an identity.
Yeah.
I was going with the flavor of the times. You're supposed to be this, so you become that. You're supposed to exude this, you become that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't grounded in my identity. And that happens a lot, especially in the public limelight, where you're expected to be, to behave a certain way, so you behave.
Yeah.
You're expected to have certain values, so you have them. You're expected to ascribe to a certain thing, so you do that. Not out of conviction, not out of your principles, but because that is what is expected of you.
Yeah.
Finding Christ made me find an identity in him, regardless of what situation I am in.
Yeah.
I always go back to me, this is who I am.
Yes.
And it's more about checking that situation against what Christ says I should be.
Yes.
So my identity is grounded. I don't have to yo-yo. I just ask myself, is this in line with my identity? Fantastic. Is it? No, then it's not for me.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad about it.
That's what's up.
Because My identity is in Christ. Yeah. So hata kama watu wanasema, oh, you should be doing this. Is that what Christ is saying? No, that's fine. Yeah.
And is there more music we should expect from you?
Of course. That's another process that I've been going through, just trying to understand what my mandate is, what my calling is, and God is unveiling it. And what I like about it also is I don't have to think about the blueprint. He has it.
He has it already.
Mine is to obey. And to lean into the Holy Spirit. And it's interesting.
Oh,
I love what,
I like the space you're in.
I like what, thank you. Thank God. I love what he's unveiling. And I'm like, wow, this is bigger. I'm realizing it's bigger than me. That his plan is just not for Amani to be a musician. It's much more than that. And I'm like, exceeding my expectations like 100%. So I'm happy about that.
It's incredible how when we think we know what path to take for our lives, and then God checks in and is like, man, you thought you knew.
You thought you knew.
You know, but let me show you what I had in store.
Let me show you what I have in store. Exactly.
And you know, once we get that place of surrender and allow God to, because I'm like, you know, people try to argue about this, but I'm like, our life, you know, has a perfect creator who authored it. You know, we just didn't decide for ourselves. And so when we allow him to get into that space and we allow him to come and, you know, guide us and lead us through this journey, it may not be easy because sometimes it's going to go against everything you want. But everything we want will never fulfill us. Everything he wants will fulfill you. There's a satisfaction. And as you get satisfied, you overflow. Now, you know, like I'm just listening to you, man. I'm like...
I'm just happy.
I'm just consuming from you and I'm like...
excited. I'm excited. And even seeing your life and everything. I didn't know how you started off and everything. But I'm just realizing that at your point of surrender, he had it all planned. Like, you've been a key ingredient in the... Actually, you guys are the guys who revolutionized the entire gospel sound and everything. From the other side, let me tell you, hey, ile baridi mlikuwa mnatupatia. Hamjui. I am telling Arken, I'm like, well, ulipatia watu baridi wewe. It was like... It was not relenting and it can only be God.
There's no other way to explain it.
There's no other way to explain it.
No.
I mean, we had strategies, we had all that. But I remember telling RK, like, can you imagine? You guys had access to high school. We didn't. So we were playing catch up later on. You guys have gone, you influenced an entire generation.
Man, I didn't even know about this.
And us guys are playing catch up. It's true.
Wow.
You were going into high school, introducing your sound, introducing your music. So that's where artists were being grown. So if you guys start with, you find that that movement began in high schools. So there was like a conveyor belt of artists coming in. Huyu akimaliza huyu mwingine anaingia and everything.
Actually,
So it was like non-stop for a very long time. And we didn't have access to high school.
It was like 17 years.
As guys, on the other hand, we don't have access to high school. So we're trying to influence them in campus.
And that's already shawa mapema.
As in hata kama they'll move, it was both. So you find that that's why even then gospel music used to be played in clubs.
I mean,
because it stayed rooted in them. It didn't leave them. That was the degree of your impact.
I thank God, Bana, because so I finished this one. So we went for Tis the Season. And so Tis the Season, you know, it's done by Atemi. And so they do all these amazing Christmas carols. You know, so Kenyanized. It's and the production is on another level. And so yesterday when they were finishing, the production, they finished with Huratete. Let me tell you, Bana, everybody went crazy. Because they did, they started with Nimetafuta, by VUC. The crowd went crazy. When they went to Huratete,
that's it.
Another level. Now when they brought in Kunadawa, finished. And like you're saying, these are all guys who I could see that there were people in their early 20s, auntie like in their 40s, but all engaged with their hands up and so joyful singing along to these songs. I was like,
it never left them.
No.
It never left them. That's the degree of the
Yes.
impact.
Yes. Oh, man.
Because you're right, I'm telling God, I'm like, how do we get to do this again? Now that I'm here, how can we do that?
Yeah. Oh, man. Now let's do this. Let's agree on. When you're ready, let's go to the high schools.
Me, I'm ready.
Okay, let's go. I think young girls, they need to hear your story. Because you have an incredible story.
Me, I'm ready.
Yes.
And I got snatched just after high school.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's such a crucial stage. And we need to be there for the boys and the girls.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So I'm dragging you along.
Me, Nico, just tell me the time and the place.
I'll even share the schedule with you.
Mimi nitakuja.
So at least ukijua 2024, this is what Kubamba is planning to do. So at least we're able to roll with you.
Me, Nico.
But thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you for having me.
This is
so amazing. Coming from Instagram. By the way, guys, I follow DJ Moose especially because I absolutely love his dedication to his family.
Oh, thank you.
And I just absolutely like it. Like I've said, I know about the pancake situation.
Thank you. It means a lot.
And yeah.
It means a lot. It means a lot hearing that.
Yeah. I know that you're a dedicated father, a dedicated husband, and I see through your Instagram post, and it's inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Sasa umefunga shule, so
yeah, full time.
Oh my gosh. There's no relenting.
But you just do it. That's the joy.
Enjoy. And
I was telling someone, like, holiday when you have a child is not really holiday. It's just parenting in a different location.
Let me tell you, man.
You've just gone to a nicer location.
Yeah.
But fundamentals are still the same.
They're still the same, yeah. And for you, please enjoy your motherhood.
Amen.
A big shout out to your husband.
Yes, I'll tell him. I'll remind him.
Yes, and tell him we're waiting for him to cross over.
He's going to cross over.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right now,
I have no doubt.
He's in and out, questioning my things. But I know in his questioning, he's trying to learn.
Yeah.
Because I secretly check what he's... I hope he doesn't hear this podcast. But I'm secretly checking like what he's checking online and everything, so I can see he's searching for it.
That's what's up.
That's
what's up.
And he'll find it. I'm just praying that he finds it.
He will.
Yeah.
He will in due time. I'm like, the Bible says, "In the day of salvation, I helped you." So he has his day.
Yeah, he has his day.
And I hope that when he hears that, just like you and I, he'll also be at the place of,
you know what?
You can have it. I surrender.
Yeah.
This has been good.
That's been good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Say hello to your brood.
I will do that.
Online.
I'll do that.
I feel like I know your kids.
I'll do that.
So weird. Instagram can make you too familiar with people that you've never met. But yeah, keep it up. I think there's a lot online that is not positive when it comes to family. And it's so refreshing to see a grounded family and an anchored family.
Thank you.
It's so refreshing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And a big shout out to my wife because without her, singekuwa vile niko. Yo ninyorosha pia. Yeah, she's good. She's good for me.
She's good for you.
Perfect, actually.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs that nyorosho.
Yeah,
Between me and my husband, he's not born again, but he's more structured than I am.
Same thing with my wife. Yeah.
Me ni full msanii.
Same for me as well. So I am the way I am because she's there to help me also be like, don't focus on this too much.
Yeah. You need to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, I fight. I still, I told even with God, because I was having a tug of war. So even with my husband, I'm like, so why are we doing that?
Yeah.
Where is that leading us to?
Yeah.
And why do we have to do that?
Yeah.
You asked me for a business plan for the longest time. Like, so where's the business plan? We need to sit down and discuss it.
Yeah.
And for some strange reason, I'm actually irritated by that. Cause
oh, yeah. Unajifanya kama mimi sijui.
Exactly. Yeah. So unajua.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us for the podcast today. And a big shout out going out. It's a new restaurant. It's called Coffee and Grind. And it's our friend Susan who runs this. It's her joint. And it's a nice place, yeah? What do you think, Amani?
It's awesome.
It's
I
a
love
really
the
nice
coffee.
place, yeah. Oh, the
It was
coffee is
really
amazing.
good. Me, I've enjoyed my coffee.
Yeah.
I love the serenity. If you're looking for a place to just come and chill and unwind, this is perfect.
That's
it's very zen.
It's very, yes.
If you love greenery,
this
perfect.
is Yeah.
Come and work here perfectly without hearing any hooting of matatus and cars.
Yeah, it's very chilled out.
Yes.
So come check it out. So we're here in Karen. Just next to the DP's residence.
Yeah.
Official residence. Anyway, guys, God bless and thank you so much for joining us for the podcast. Peace. Catch you next week.